On this episode of Nerds Talking the Podcast, the nerds talk about benign addictions. What are you addicted to that you're also oblivious to? And also, we review Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. All that and more on this episode of Nerds Talking the Podcast. Now start the show.
Nerds Talking, the podcast.
Yo, we talk about lightsabers, stunning your TV screens, what you want to stream, everything beyond your dreams. Want to talk about movies, sports, or even politics? Go ahead and tune into us. We'll give you all of it. Whatever you're debating, Xbox or PlayStation, Marvel or DC, Mac or PC. Teraflops when the movie drops, gigabytes, chips, RAM, no matter what it is, we got all of it. Welcome to the show.
Nerds Talking, the podcast.
Welcome to Nerds Talking, the podcast. I'm here with Carlos, Johnny, Laura, and I'm Lafayette. Another episode for you. Welcome to the show. You can reach us at nerdstalking@yahoo.com. If you have any questions, if you want to be part of the show, drop us a line. Maybe you want us to talk about something. Maybe you have problems in your life and we want to solve them for you. I think we could do that. Maybe. You never know.
An advice podcast? That's our new thing.
I mean, there's options, right? Our podcast switched. We're no longer in the comedy category anymore.
We're in the therapy category.
Yeah, we're in the therapy category. Yeah. So there you go. So it's a big week, a very big week for a lot of things going on. What is the number one thing happening this weekend, everyone? Anyone know? Anyone?
Art festival in St. Louis that I really want to go to? No? Not it? Okay.
Super lame.
Is McRib coming back? Just fucking tell me already.
I like how that's what you want to hear. But no, it's not. For God's sakes, how's no one know this? Carlos, what do you got? What's happening this weekend?
This weekend is
He doesn't know either.
the McRib is not coming back. Sorry, Johnny.
Wow.
I sorry to disappoint you.
He went for the lame joke. Oh my God. The NFL is back, you goddamn fools.
I knew it was going to be sports related.
That's right.
This weekend?
back.
Oh, I forgot to put it on my
It's
calendar.
back.
Guess
So
we'll have to push it
hopefully
back
we're
a week. I'm not ready.
ready. Yeah. Your team plays Monday night. No one or Sunday night. No one cares
perfect.
about those bums.
Did you pick your fantasy football
The
team,
New
Laura?
Jersey Giants.
Yeah, Laura. Are you fantasy football ready? Who's your quarterback this year? Huh? Come on. Give us one.
Mahomes.
Oh, good
Ooh,
call.
good pick. Good
Good
pick.
pick.
Good pick.
Good way to pull that one
I work
out.
for a
Yeah.
Kansas City company. That's the only reason I know that.
Ah, very well, very well. Also this week, the most anticipated video game, probably of the last, 5 years, came out called
is it?
Starfield.
Yeah, I got a text last couple of days ago. It said it's ready because I have it
Starfield came
on the
out.
Xbox. Yeah.
If you like role-playing games such as Skyrim and Fallout and GTA and so forth, you are going to take your adventure to space. And it's an endless campaign of 1,000 planets, 1,000,000 storylines, and you can be a good guy or a bad guy. You choose what you want. Get yourself a crew. Be a pirate in the skies.
Ooh.
And you can
Pirate.
do so
Yeah.
many different things. And anyway, it's called Starfield. It is available through Microsoft. It is an Xbox exclusive. Unless you have Steam, you can get it on Steam. So you PlayStation people, so sad. Also, another game came out that Johnny might want. Johnny? NBA 2K24, Johnny?
No, I still have to get through my 22.
Obi's on the cover.
Wait, time out. You just said you have to get through NBA 2K22?
You know, you don't
Yeah.
actually finish the game.
Yeah,
There's
you
no
know, it's a
actual-
sports game. You don't actually
end.
finish sports games. You just kind of
Just-
like get the next one.
You know,
Like that's not.
I'm
Yeah.
not surprised to hear this answer from you two underachieving brothers. Like, your goals are so low. I'm trying to be the scoring leader of all time. I'm trying to score 101 points in the game. Like, those are goals in the game.
did you
that I'm
say
playing.
underachieving? Let me guess. Your play level is at rookie or is that at professional? I'm
It
going to
might-
guess it's not at professional, is it?
No,
Go
I'm
ahead.
no. First of
Go
all,
ahead.
underachieving, and he's playing a game from 3 years ago, trying to break a record. So he's underachieving, loser.
I don't know. My contract says otherwise. I'm also 6'9".
Oh, are you now? Oh, you're a very tall Asian.
Yeah.
And then up in theaters, coming on theaters, The Nun Part 2. So another continuation of the Conjuring universe.
Boo.
Anyone
And,
ever see the first one?
I've seen them all the Conjuring movies. Yes.
Boo.
For Nun 1 was pretty
The
good.
Conjuring, I've seen The Conjuring, the first one. That was really good, but I think I saw the second one and it didn't really appeal to me. And then after that, I was like, done.
Now, are they in it? Are the
movies.
couple in it? Are the couple in every one? It's part of the
No.
Conjuring
They're only in the
universe?
ones called The Conjuring. So they're in 3 movies. Then there's 3 Annabelles, 3 Conjurings,
Two nuns.
There's 2 nuns. Yep. And I
And
the
a
hell can
partridge in
keep
a
up with-
pear tree.
and there's
Truly.
La Lorna, which is part of it. So you got like 9 movies so far, something like that. There's a lot already.
Who can keep up with horror universes?
I just
They're
told you the whole
always...
thing.
I know. They're just always cranking something out. And it just, yeah.
Well,
There's
the worst
something coming out
ones-
soon. It's called the
Yeah.
Satanic Hispanic.
And really?
Yeah.
Is it a
That's what-
comedy? Because it should be funny with a title like that.
You would hope, right? It's not a
I
drama.
hope so.
I don't want to see it. Also, my big fat Greek wedding part 3 comes out this
Yes.
weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't
Another
even know that
one
was a
with
thing.
the same plot as the last 2, basically. So there you go.
This
There
one,
you
they go
go.
back to Greece.
They go back. How'd you know that?
I
How'd
saw
you
the
know
trailer.
that? Wow.
And then I was doing a
the thing-
deep dive on Google. Man, the first one,
Yep.
it was just nothing but profit. Like a $5 million budget. They made like 350 million. Could you imagine?
Yeah,
Just-
yeah.
It was
That's
funny
like
and
a Bitcoin.
original, and it had
It's like
heart.
Like Blair Witch
And
numbers.
then, you gotta milk the cash cow.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh,
would say
yeah.
if you're spacing it, but like one every 10 years, you're not really milking a cash cow.
Was the second one 10 years later?
It was a long time.
Like
Was
like
it?
Checking
Okay.
to see if
them
that
out pretty
cash
far.
cow's still
Yeah, they
alive.
space
Is
them
what
out
you're
pretty
doing.
Well,
Heartbeat check,
the
cash
lead
cow.
the lead actress, she like writes it all herself and does
Oh.
like most all the work. So
Okay. All right.
yeah,
Laura
the
spoke
first
out of
one,
turn.
the first one was 2002. Okay,
Yep,
in
we just-
03 they came out with a TV series.
Yep.
So all right, so they
Oh,
might have
good
been
Lord.
trying
This is
to
taking a while.
milk the cash cow. Sorry,
I've been on a journey.
you trigger me.
I was right. I was wrong. I was right again.
But then part 2 was 2016, and so now 2023.
Okay. Okay. I mean, if she's writing them herself, it's her thing. It's her cash cow to do with what she will. I take everything back. I'm sorry, Greek woman.
She was in this movie
Oh, there you go.
called My Life in Ruins. Really good. If you guys want to feel good
Heard of it.
little comedy. And I think she wrote and produced that one too.
Northern Exposure was the boyfriend. I've always thought he was cute. Those are the 2 things that I remember.
I don't think that's what he's known for. I think he's known for
No, it's
Aiden
not what he's
on
known
Sex
for,
and the
but he
City,
is in.
right?
Yeah, but he
Like-
is in Northern Exposure. That's how I knew him
Was
first.
that Mr.
so.
Big?
No,
No, that's Chris Noth. Fuck that guy.
Oh, okay.
He was like
Well,
the nicest guy, and what was his name? Carrie. She just kind of
Gary.
threw him to the side.
Oh, I'm sure she did. Sex in the City is a rough watch.
You never got into that?
I didn't when it was out. It was never my kind of scene. I remember my mom used to watch it. Like this was after it was on HBO because we didn't have fucking premium cable. Who are we, millionaires? So my mom would catch it like sometimes late at night. They would have it on Syndicate on like E or something, another cable channel. And she would be watching it. And I remember being 16 years old and listening to some of it. I'm like, this is so fucking stupid. Where Carrie, a late 30s, I don't know. How old is she supposed to be? Mid-30s, late 30s? I don't know. At some point, she's like, I realized, as she's laying on her bed, typing in her diary or for her articles, I realized maybe sex wasn't a thing in a relationship. Maybe you could have great sex with someone, not be compatible. And I was like, bitch, I'm 16 years old and I know that. You were 30 something to
Wait, time out.
realize
Whoa,
it.
whoa,
Whoa,
whoa.
whoa, whoa,
16
whoa,
years
whoa.
old and you knew that?
Whoa.
Time
Whoa.
out. Whoa, where are we
Whoa,
going
wait,
with
wait.
this?
Bookie,
Whoa.
I'm gonna have to
We're
argue
gonna have
a
to put
little
a
bit with
pause
you on
on
this one.
this. We can't encourage our younger listeners to be like you.
At
Good
16
Lord.
years old, you met your
16 years.
life partner. Like,
No. Yeah, I want to clarify. None of this was from actual life experience.
then
I met my, but I mean, I just think it's common sense, right? That great sex does not equal a happy relationship. I feel like movies and books and watching other people in my life told me that very early in my life that was truth. And so it was weird to me to see some woman who's supposed to be, so worldly and knowledgeable, like coming to this realization. And I'm like, I don't understand how you don't understand that yet.
I mean, that was the problem with that show always because I watched it. The problem was basically all these older women coming to realization later in life, like, oh my God, what? I can have this type of relationship? Like, you're like, you don't seem like the brightest. Like, everybody respects you and wants your, because her job is she's like a Dear Abby.
Columnist. Yeah.
Yeah. But she's herself
I
is
wouldn't be
realizing
taking advice
shit.
from that bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
So,
don't get me wrong, but okay. But then when I was, I don't know, like mid-20s, I had 3 weeks in between jobs. I put in my 2 weeks at a job, and then I had put in a cushion for a week for me to take time off, and then they just told me, "No, you gotta go. Like, you don't need to do your 2 weeks." It's a proprietary thing. And so I had 3 weeks off. And then I started watching Sex and the City on reruns, and I did kinda get into it because there is some good stuff in there. Um, and it's also fun to watch it just for the ridiculous outfits that they wear. And then Ron Livingston's art, not Mr. Big, I forget his name, Berger, who dumps her with a Post-it because he can't handle that she's more successful than he is. That's a good arc. That's a fun one to watch.
I
well,
thought you
there
were
we
going
go.
somewhere else with that because you were talking about uh, how they've like come to realizations about sex lives and whatnot, and you were like, "There's this 3 week period." I was like, "Oh shit, we're about to get
God,
juicy."
you know what? I thought the same thing
We're about to
also.
get juicy.
Then
That
I
was a
just
3-week
went
period that
buck
she
wild
just
and had
went
my Sex in the City
yeah, just ran about
phase
town
of
and
life.
came back going, I guess I don't need relationships. And then boom, there it is.
Went to
Sex
New
in the
York for 3
City.
weeks, drank
That's-
Cosmos, and just
that's
fuck
right.
strangers.
That's right. And it wrote every day about it every night in your little journal.
And my dear Abby about it.
Dear Carrie. Like,
Actually, I'm
that's
super
great.
salty because I was supposed to be in New York this month for work, and then I got canceled. And I'm super salty about it because I've never been to New York, and I was really looking forward to it. And so, talk about New York. It's a little bit too soon. Hashtag too soon.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, too
You could
soon.
still go though.
I mean,
right?
yeah.
Like,
I mean, no. There's a
So
window.
much more expensive to do it on my own dollar.
That's so true.
That was the thing. It's just a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah, company dollars always better.
Yeah.
Always better.
When they pay for the flight and 3/5 of the
just
hotel.
everything. Yes.
Because I was
Wait,
going to tack
3/5?
on
What kind of company work
I was
for?
gonna tack on a few extra days. I was like, okay,
I
if I have to
gotcha.
be there for this conference, I'm gonna take 3 days beforehand. And and then it got
she gets
fucked.
breakfasts, but only half sandwiches.
Only like exactly. Exactly.
I'll take it. Maybe I'll lose some weight. All that
Her boss
New York
literally
walking.
her boss
half
literally takes her like to the buffet. You can get that. Nope, can't get that. You can get that though.
Nope.
You can't get that.
Nope. You
Nope.
get a bagel.
Uh-huh.
But
Shut
it's
your
a
mouth.
New York bagel, so
bagel.
it's better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Plus those days you want, those extra days. We don't know what you're doing on those days. Pff, fancy free over here. I don't know. So yeah, so there we go. So check out some movies this weekend. Football is back. But we're gonna jump into our first topic, and it is benign addictions, as they're called, and addictions that you have that I don't know. I guess you could say they're not detrimental to your health so much, or maybe you don't realize it. Um, and something that you do a lot of, and you kind of like, to you it's out of like, oh no, I don't do that a lot, or oh, it doesn't really affect what I do every day, or blah blah blah. Oh, that's not a problem. And the type of addictions such as playing video games and being on your phone, or even watching too much TV. But you don't see that as a problem. To you, it's normal. It's just what you do. And when someone calls you out on it, you're like, what? Yeah, get all pissed off about it.
Turn into
So,
Fred Flintstone.
that's
Yabba
right.
dabba doo. That's
That's
what
right.
I heard.
So, Laura, what is your benign addiction besides, 3 weeks in New York? We don't want to know about that.
So I listened to a podcast recently about addiction, and it was this psychologist who specialized in addiction. So she would treat people who had, alcohol, drug, gambling issues, things that just wrecked their lives. But then she came to realize that there are these smaller addictions that really we all have in our society today. And it follows that same trajectory of like you're seeking that dopamine high. And so whether that's, checking your phone and scrolling through Facebook or TikTok or whatever it is, you're seeking that dopamine high that you get. And hers, she said she was reading romance novels, like almost compulsively. Not in the sense like it was ruining her life or relationships the way that a gambling addiction or a drug addiction would, but she was just less interested in everything in her life, and it was just like she was just counting down, the hours until she could get home, get the kids to bed and have her alone time and just read her stupid romance novels. And then she was like, "Oh shit, I'm counseling people with addictions, but I've got this benign addiction that's really taking me on that same roller coaster, just in a, a more socially acceptable and less detrimental way." So it got me thinking a lot about addiction and like the thing that I really just like can't freaking stop. And for me, it is combo combo breaker of sitting on the couch, watching television, and eating food. Like that is the end of the night, and it is the best kind. It's the fucking best part of my day, and that's pathetic.
Johnny, you look like you want to say it's like you're thinking about it. Like,
I don't think it's that bad. Like, I don't
I'm just saying.
know how this lady has a career helping people with these things. I'm like, fucking love that.
I mean, the numbers on my scale would beg to differ that it is definitely not a good thing. I've recently seen a number that I haven't seen since I was pregnant, and I'm like, "Oh,
No, we don't want to know. Yeah. The White Claws aren't helping.
hey, hey, I am now only drinking 2 times a week when I podcast. Is with this in Polite Society. That's my new
good.
thing.
You're drinking
Rookie, that's a 40 ounce. Like, you can't
I
say I
know.
just had 2 beers.
Your drinking is aligned with podcasting.
Exactly. 2 nights a
So,
week.
Hopefully, you don't pick up more podcasts because
I might just so I can drink more.
you can drink more. That's it. That's your little escape. Johnny, do you have a benign addiction that you don't think is a problem, and or I don't know, it's to you it's nothing? What do you got for me? What do you got for me?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't see these as problems, but I will say back in the 90s,
Wow, we're going all the
late
way back to the
90s.
90s.
Well, when I was in the military, like growing up, like porn was so taboo and very like,
Porn is a common one.
yeah. And it was one of those things where like you might have heard a friend of a friend who had one like buried underneath like the back patio or something like that. It was like with Playboys and whatnot. It was just very taboo. And I remember, there was in the back of a porn mag, there's like ads and stuff for videos. So I had ordered some videos, and it was like, oh, buy 5 and get 1 free. And so I got 6.
It's
And
like
then-
Columbia House.
Yeah, exactly. And then when I realized that none of my other friends like had done this, like there might be 2 other like videos in the barracks, and then I became like Blockbuster. Like friends would come by, hey, can I borrow this one? And all right, I'll see you later. And it was I mean, I guess I was popular, but for the wrong reasons if you really think about it. But yeah, when I realized that like nobody else had porn videos or watched them, knew the actresses' names, things like that, I was like, maybe I have a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem. And the fact you only have 6, you do have to watch them over and over. You're gonna get to know the actresses' names, the plots really well.
If they can act, I mean, like,
yeah, you're gonna know that. You're gonna tell your friends, it's not that good. The story's kind of lame.
Johnny was hella popular because whenever the dudes wanted to think about sex or masturbate, they thought of Johnny first.
That's why I was saying,
go get a video.
That's
I mean, if you really think
Yeah.
about it, maybe I should look for other ways to be popular. Maybe.
The sad part is you're not popular anymore, but you know how to get popular. So get back on that wagon, my friend.
You know what was funny? All right, so I say 6, but I've ordered more than once, right?
Of course. You did say you were a Blockbuster, so you had to have a lot.
When I had called back the same company to order a few more, and she's like, okay, can I get this number? Can I get that number? And then when she verified everything, she's like, Johnny? I was like, I don't like how that went. She was just like so like familiar with me, and she was probably like in her 50s, maybe 60s, just this old like telemarketer type lady, and that wasn't a good feeling, but it didn't stop me from ordering.
That's good.
At any time during ordering and you said a number, she goes, oh, wait. Didn't you order that one last month, Johnny? I'm like, oh, yeah, I did. Thank you.
It would have been worse.
Look it up for me, Franny. Let's change that.
If she had her own, like,
want Ass Blaster 7. Thank you.
What if she was like the early versions of like an algorithm? If you like this, then you're really gonna like this.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like you ask her, what do you think I should get this month? Well, we just got in this new one. Yeah, we just got it called Midget 17 Extreme Midgeting. Like, I'll take it.
What if she would call you, like, Johnny, you never guess what's coming out next week?
They call you now.
Like a title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They call you.
And I'll be like, Fran, do you take checks? We'll talk soon.
Not even that.
Speak in a Russian accent, Fran.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I did not realize that till later in life, though.
Yeah. And
if I would have only known.
You call Fran with a list from all your friends. You have this one? My friend says this is out. Is this out? Is available?
Request list.
So that was
your
addiction. Now the thing is, did your addiction stick to watching it, or did it get to buying it? Were you buying more and more of it?
I think at the most at one time, I had maybe like 10 videos.
Oh, okay.
And there were video cassettes. So like as the years went along, it became more and more sad to move 10 VHS tapes to hear like the sound. Like when you have more porn than like regular movies, maybe you have a problem.
I think so.
Did your buddies ever borrow them and not rewind them?
And that was another.
Exactly
that was another. Yeah,
ended.
Exactly. That was another awkward thing. I'm like, wow, this guy only stops it when this dude comes into the frame. I'm like,
he can make it so far into the movie.
Indicative.
Like, he always returns it.
Yeah,
he returns it and goes, I never make it past that scene.
See, but back then though, it was like there was actually like storylines, and it wasn't like a highlight reel or anything like that. It was like there was a movie and a plot and all that. So you kind of did have to like sit through a little bit
the garbage. Yeah.
Eventually you kind of figure out what was going on.
Did you?
You did. Yeah.
The formula wasn't hard to figure out.
I feel like someone's gonna get laid really soon.
Well, and that was the thing about VHS, right? Because you could hit fast forward and you could see what was happening on the screen.
Right.
So you could be like, fast forward. Okay, all right.
You're scrubbing it. You're scrubbing it to get to the good parts.
What a waste. What a waste of tape. What a waste of
Truly.
tape. All right, Carlos, what is your benign addiction that you have or had that you feel like that's not a problem?
I'm going to say it's my toy addiction, my action figure addiction. I don't feel like it's a problem, but here's a problem.
Oh, okay. I know, right?
I like that.
That's-
Good preface. I'm in.
Yeah.
Tell
yeah,
him.
right.
I'm running out of space to put them because we live in a really small space. And two, I have my own bank account, and then my wife has her own, and we have a combined one. The combined one is for our money, and then the side one is for any side money I make for side jobs or whatever. That is slowly getting empty because I keep buying these figures thinking, oh, it's just this much this time. I'll put more money next time, just this much this time. So I'm slowly running out. I'm afraid if I run out, I'll not be able to buy my action figures. Things may go a little sideways here in the house. I might start selling shit. The TV's going to be gone. There's going to be a Snake Eyes action figure sitting there instead.
The question is, though, does the action figures get in the way of anything? It's not an addiction.
You get in the way of me saving money.
But it's not, you're not wasting time doing something,
No, I buy them, they come, I put them on the shelf.
That's what I mean.
Well, I mean, you're wasting time by earning that money. You're spending, let's say 3 hours to earn this particular amount of money, and you spend it on action figure. So in a way, you are wasting time.
And that's the thing, right? You're chasing that dopamine high as like, okay, I'm
Chasing
going
the
to find it.
dragon.
I'm going to find it. I found it. I bought it. It came. Now we're on the downswing. And then you have to find that upswing again. So look and look and look and find, have it. And the cycle repeats itself. So, like you said, benign addictions. I feel like that kind of thing. I mean, as long as you're not like putting yourself in debt, it's really no big deal. But just like analyzing your thought pattern and like, what are you chasing in that moment? Like that self-reflection is what I'm thinking about
When I
on
was
myself anyway.
my late teens, early 20s, I would have put myself in debt. I did put myself in debt buying action figures, but I know now that's not going to happen again. That won't happen twice. So if it gets to a point where I can't afford this one for whatever reason, then too bad. It's not that important.
Do you have them in like a storage unit, or are they
No,
all
they're
at the
here.
house?
Yeah, they're all here at the house.
Are they like
ever
stacked in plastic bins or like shelving, or like what's the storage scenario?
Well, storage scenarios currently, my laundry room cabinets are full of them, just in their boxes, because we live in a really tiny place, so I don't have my own space for it like I did in the last place that I had. The last place that I had my own like art room, and I had shelves and art on the wall and figures and statues and stuff. But this one does not have that room. So for now, they're just boxed up.
R.I.P. spare rooms.
Right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel
And
that.
that's a tough one because it's an addiction. Again, it's not an addiction, but it's like Johnny said, it's more of spending your time and money, doing something else to get something. It's not really in the way per se of something let's say like for me, I watch a lot of streaming TV. I mean, I can binge every day. And guess what? I won't get off the sofa. I will not. I'll watch them until 2 a.m. every day. Like, I'm going to watch this shit. I ain't going to stop until this shit's over. And then I'll go to bed.
Doesn't matter if it's good or not, as you've seen what you've recommended to this crew.
Right.
We're like,
it doesn't
nope.
matter. Yeah. Does not matter. I will watch it. And then I'll tell myself at the end of the night, what a waste of a night. I could have went to the gym, could have done something more productive. But no, I had to watch all of this show because I am already in. I'm knee deep and I have to finish till it gets neck deep. So, and then drawing too. I'll sit there and draw all night. And then I'm like,
Bad at all.
What's up?
How is that bad at all?
It's because you're drawing for the sake of, I mean, I'm just drawing sometimes and not for nothing, meaning there's no point to it. And I feel like, I could have been doing something else. I feel like when you're older, when you play video games or you watch too much TV, you could be doing something more productive,
Well, definitely. We could all be doing something more productive, but I feel like drawing is at least, you're getting something out. Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes not for me. Sometimes I'll be like, I don't know about this. And I'll just throw the iPad to the side. That's 2 hours. I could have just fucking done something else.
Let's not forget your phone addiction.
I don't have a phone addiction.
It's a terrible phone
we
addiction.
all have a phone addiction.
The problem with Carlos is he was watching a movie
no.
and I was on my phone the whole time, and he was like, "Yeah, this movie I had no interest in watching the movie." And I'm like, I'm gonna watch this, and I'm gonna go on Twitter, and I'm gonna check this out. And because guess what? I
All
was like,
weekend, because it didn't take me all weekend to watch this movie.
all weekend.
All weekend, he
I
was
was
on
working
his
all
phone.
weekend. All weekend.
All weekend, he was on it. If he was sitting down, he was on his phone. If he was standing
Yeah.
across from our table at a
That's
pillar,
right.
kind of just standing there, on his phone.
That's
And then he even
right.
told me, "Hey, does your phone have a battery saver mode?" I'm like, "Yeah, but how long does the battery last?" "Oh, battery lasts all day, but I put on battery saver mode because I'm surfing all day, so I have to make sure it lasts all day." I'm like, "Oh." And the movie he was talking about is one that he wanted to watch, was The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Instead of watching it, he was watching his phone the whole time. And at one point, he looks at me and goes, "How did the captain die?" And I look at him, I go, "What do you mean, how did the captain die?" And then he looks at me and goes, "Did you fall asleep?" I said, "No. Maybe you should look at your little screen. It'll tell you how the captain died." And that was it. I didn't tell him how the captain died.
Oh, it didn't matter how he died. Movie was. We'll get to it later. Yeah, no. Here's what people don't understand. When I come home from work, I never look at my phone because I'm looking at the TV or I'm looking at my iPad. You know what I mean? My phone
It's the
goes.
same thing, man.
I throw it
It's
in
the
my
same
hat.
thing. It's a
and I leave
screen
it.
addiction. I don't think it's a phone addiction or a TV addiction.
No, it's not.
It's
It's
screen
a
addiction.
needing to always be fed something to.
You have
to
FOMO
keep
is what
me
you have.
capacity.
You
No,
have
Bingo.
that's not
FOMO.
what FOMO is. It's needing to always be entertained. It's always needing something to keep my brain going. I can't just stare at a wall. I gotta be like, I gotta something that always has to keep me going. So if I'm going for a walk / jog, I gotta have a podcast because something has to keep me going. I can't be silent. I can't listen to the road. I don't know. That's my thing. I always have to have something. Always.
I
Like
think I'd be a bad therapist because if you walked in, I'd be like, "Well, I can't save them all," and then I just
no, but it's true.
Pay the lady on the way out.
I'm the type of person that I always need something to keep me entertained. Like that's just what it is. That's why people say, "Why don't you go to clubs or like nightclubs, like dancing?" I'm like, no, I like to listen to music, not in a crowded room, people dancing. I'll just listen to music on my own damn time. Like, and what?
So the podcast that I listened to was talking about specifically about a lot of phone addiction and about how in our current society we are all being entertained all the time. So we're all seeking this dopamine high constantly. So it's never been so accessible in the terms of what makes you happy? What gives you that little like, "Oh, that's exciting. That's entertaining." That little kick. What gives you that little kick? And everything in our society is geared give that to you as much as possible. And so we're living in this world where basically we're all benign addicts in the sense that we're all seeking something all the time. And so it leads to this cycle of like I'm seeking, I found, and then I'm on the downswing. And then when you take away that stuff, your body basically goes, okay, it's more stuff about like homeostasis and like your dopamine level. So your body is always seeking homeostasis. So if you give it too much fun, it's going to naturally kind of try to tip the other way to bring the scales even. And so if you're constantly ratcheting up your dopamine hits with TikTok videos, scrolling, the newest streaming thing or pornography or action figures or whatever that or eating on while watching television like me, like if you're always ratcheting that pleasure side up, your body is trying to regulate it by upping the pain side. So basically what she's saying is we're all fucking miserable because we're living in this society where they're giving us too much of what we want.
Oh yeah, true. And I also think that people that can separate the two or what do you call that?
Compartmentalize.
There you go. That can do that. Like, okay, I'm only going to spend an hour watching this because I need to go to the gym, and then after
Those are
that,
strong people.
yeah, like, and then I need to go home and study on how to, build my e-commerce site because that's what I need to be doing, and then I need to go and, practice cursive because, well, I don't know, and then
Who the fuck? Okay.
But you know what I
Calligraphy.
mean?
All right.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? It's that's the thing. It's kind of like we talk about this when it comes to weight loss. Do you come home and talk about it, or do you do something about it? You know, and people come home and they talk about it, and they sit on the sofa and they watch TV and they say, tomorrow, tomorrow, and it's kind of
So
the same
true.
thing. It's like procrastinating and doing this instead of that, because in reality, you don't really want to do that. You want to do this. You
I
know?
feel
wanna
like
see that
talking about it
dopamine
is
high.
even a step up for me. Like I don't even talk
It
about it. I
is.
just fucking
talk.
yeah, I just
Oh.
pretend it doesn't exist, and
Oh, you block it out.
yeah, I don't even talk
And
about it. That's how lazy
What
I
is it?
am.
Knowledge is power. Like who
Yeah,
was it? Is
yeah.
it G.I. Joe that said that? Like
No,
what
that's
is
not GI Joe.
Knowing
GI Joe's
half the
knowing's half the
battle.
battle. You just
knowing's
I
half the
can't-
battle. Yeah, that is part of it, right? So just like having the conversation and like recognizing that pattern within yourself is growth. And me, I was like, okay, my trigger is sitting on that couch and watching television. So I'm like, I'm gonna change the trigger. And so I'm not gonna be in the couch that's so close to the kitchen. Like I'm gonna go into my bedroom where we don't have a TV and I'm gonna read a book. Or I'm going to watch TV on my laptop, which sounds like it's the same, but even just changing that environment, even like going into a different room, it changes the trigger, just like it is for an alcoholic or whatever. Like
What?
you,
That is true. No, that is true.
it is dramatic. You're right.
Yeah,
It's
'cause if
I'm not an
alcoholics-
alcoholic.
You
If
watch
alcohol-
porn in
Cookie,
one room, you
if-
watch porn in another room. it's still
That's
the
what I'm
same
saying.
shit.
I could jerk off over here. I could jerk off
No,
over
no,
there.
no,
It's
not
the
true.
same thing.
But
Like,
If
my
alcoholics-
problem,
one's
If
my
better
alcoholics
than the
drink
problem
in the
is
laundry
not
room, it's
the
much different than
watching
a
of
bar.
the television. My problem is the eating that accompanies the television.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's the detrimental behavior that I'm
Oh.
trying to stop.
I mean,
So if
yeah,
I change the trigger,
yeah.
because I don't eat in my bed because that's gross. I don't. It's nasty. So that is the slight change that I've taken. Or another
John-
day that I went and I decided I'm going to read a book instead of watching television. So avoid that trigger. Take my sleeping pill early so I can go to bed early and not give in to that temptation.
The look on
I'm
Johnny's face
trying.
says, "You mean I can eat while I masturbate?" Yes, this is good. This is good.
I'm pretty
It's
sure
like
he's had a
George,
sandwich in
He's
one
trying
hand.
to put
okay?
them together. Yeah.
I know for a fact.
Oh, you
he's
know for a
got-
fact.
Yeah, I know for a fact. I can tell.
Where's perk up? Tell me more about that.
Johnny has had a burrito in one hand and another burrito in his other.
All right. So you want to talk serious? Let's talk fucking serious, okay?
Let's talk serious.
Wait, what?
You do yourself.
Where are we going?
You do yourself a disservice if you're fucking trying to eat or do anything with one hand. You got to focus. Both hands, all in.
Ah,
Agreed.
okay, I
Fuck
got
outta
you. I got
here.
you. This is like the guy trying to learn about his e-commerce and cursive. You gotta be all in.
Or it's like trying to
No
69.
distractions.
It's like
No
nobody is
distractions.
fully focused on the job they are doing.
This is
It's
true.
Never good.
This is true.
It's not good.
Wait,
The
we're talking
idea
about-
is good, but the
no.
execution,
Yeah, what job?
not so much.
It's
you know,
it
yeah, I
starts
tried-
off like I'm gonna give this a shot again, and you're like, no,
It's
no,
never good. Never good for anybody. No.
seriously, no joke. Yeah, so I mean, but it just really comes down to how you apply yourself. That's all. Like you said, do you? Oh, I'm gonna move my little PC TV, my computer TV, to the room so I can stay away from the fridge because the fridge is calling me my name. You
Mhm.
know, that's like me locking up my like game controllers and going, this will keep me from not playing if I just lock these up, and I'm the only one that has the key.
Well, that's the thing. It's what works. And there might come a point where that does work, and then there might come a point when that doesn't work. But then if it does come to the point where it doesn't work, like do you have the strength to tell yourself like, no, I need to close the curtain on this. Like maybe forever, maybe for a month, maybe for a few months. You know, and that's where I'm at right now. I'm experimenting currently with that. Like, what do I need to do? Because
Yeah.
that is my problem. That is why I don't lose weight.
I mean,
Is
my
the
number
nighttime
one.
eating.
Yeah, my number one thing is for sure just watching a lot of streaming. I mean, I'm telling you, I can. When I was a kid, or I should say, in my early 20s, I was like the guy that couldn't wait to get home to play the newest video game. Like I just gotta get through my workday because I'm gonna spend hours playing this game. Oh man, I can't wait. Television, in sports too. I'll literally spend all day watching football. all day. Won't get up. I'll watch football all day. Just be the laziest shit on Sundays.
Dude,
So-
what I realized, I was talking about like previous things that I've done in my life, and I realized I was like, oh I mean, I knew this, but then it just finally clicked that the two were related. That so I've always kind of been a fat kid, but then I lost weight my freshman year of high school without even noticing it because I did theater after school, and those theater practices cut into my come home from school, sit in front of the television, and eat food routine. So I skipped that whole session. It wasn't a late night session. It was an afternoon session where nobody was home because that's the thing. You got to be alone. So nobody knows how much you're eating. And I realized I'm like, oh shit, I'm doing the same thing now. And if I can just cut that out, then maybe I can do that same thing that I did when I was fucking, what, 15 years old, 14 years old.
Interesting.
Am I
Interesting.
being too revealing? I think I am.
No,
Okay,
not
I'm
so
done
much.
talking.
Not so much.
Done.
That's you just need to quit the ice cream there. That's all. Quit the ice cream. Johnny
I
doesn't
don't
seem
buy
like
it
he has
anymore.
any addictions at his age. It doesn't like he has any hobbies because sometimes it can be seen as hobbies that you overextend yourself. And it doesn't seem like you have any, Johnny. I guess cooking or barbecuing, I guess, but that's like you do it every day.
Right.
And the barbecue does it for you.
I will tell you one of my old addictions was Dave and Buster's. Getting those points, getting enough points to get a PS4 at the time. And I finally did it. And I have enough for another PS4. So recently, I've been going to Dave and Buster's and, just go in and get a quick 1,000, 2,000 points.
Wait, time out. Are you going by yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Pretty sad. Keep going.
Yeah. Super sad, right? But I'm not jerking off and doing Dave and Buster's. So it's one at a
No,
time.
because you got to concentrate. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's right. He does have to concentrate.
But I think this all blew up in my face because I looked at the prizes and like the best thing you can get right now is a Roomba. And I have no need for that. And I mean, I clean my house myself. There's no PlayStations. There's, I think, maybe a Nintendo Switch and then some other like shit prizes. So my value of my Dave and Buster's points has gone down significantly. Like a fucking Shibu,
like
or
cryptocurrency.
like
yeah.
crypto. It fucking blew up. Man, I held on to it for too long. Fuck.
Bottom
Loser.
fell out.
Your
for the
addiction
D&B.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. You suck. And Carlos also doesn't sound like he has a hobby or a hobby that, goes a little too far, I guess. So
I do not.
yeah.
I do not.
Yeah. Doesn't sound like
Well, it must be nice.
the action figure thing, I always wanted to get into it. Every time I go to Disneyland, I think it's after the Guardians ride where they like you exit into their store and they have those cool like Iron Man figurines and all that
Statues?
statues.
Yeah.
Those are so cool and I've always wanted to get into it, but then I don't know, not necessarily come to my senses, but I think about the practicality. Where would it display it? Is it far enough so that my daughter can't destroy it? That type of thing. And
what do you do with it after you stared at it already for 5 hours?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same too. Like I had some statues out and I boxed them all up and I was like, they're fun to look at for a while. But now what do I do with them? Nobody else is coming to look at them. Like nobody else is coming around. Like,
Yeah.
What do I do with these expensive things? Oh man.
It sounds like Lafayette wants to live in a big white room with just a couch and a TV in the middle of it.
That'd be the best. The best. Yeah.
Probably shouldn't make it white.
No. Well, no, because you can camouflage.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
You
Just
shit
don't
your
turn the
pants
black
again,
light on.
Lafayette.
Yeah. So I mean, again, though, like I said, you could also look at it as a hobby that you overextend yourself as an addiction of some kind. Because some people have hobbies that they just like to do this particular thing, but it doesn't really lead to anything per se, right? There's always that as well. So, well, there you go. We're two of us have some type of thing, and 2 people don't. One is a food addiction. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Another one is just I need to be entertained 24/7, so that's why I got cats. And Johnny doesn't have an addiction. Dave and Buster's, I guess.
Dave and Buster's, a little bit of porn.
Oh wait, that's still lingering. All right,
yeah, a little bit of
there
porn,
we go.
a little bit of
We
food.
got it out.
Like
We don't like quitters. Good for you, Johnny.
I do a lot of
Back in the
everything.
game. Do your old friends call you up? Hey, Johnny, send me that link because it's not videos anymore.
He's the keeper of the keys for all the good
once
videos.
the internet came around, I had different friends now. They don't need me anymore.
That's true.
Your fame
That's
sizzled
true.
out.
Yeah, you're no longer the famous kid. Yeah, or the popular kid, I should say. Loser. And Carlos has nothing. He just has nothing. He has a 4-year-old, and I think that's what he has. So, yep, there you go. All right, everybody, we'll take a break here on Nurse Talking Podcast. We'll be right back after this.
Do you like money? Have you thought about investing in cryptocurrency? Do you see a future where your 401k is worth more than you imagine? Then tune into the podcast, Fat Rich Pigs. That's right. Do you want to be a fat rich pig? Or just a fat guy that buys pigs and flips them on the market and gets all the bacon, if you know what I mean? Fat Rich Pigs. Best stuff for you. Listen, it's a good show. I have satisfied customers all over the place. From Fat Guy Loves Cake to the Nerds Talking Podcast fellas. They're all filthy rich because of me, because of my podcast. Fat Rich Pig is one of our customers telling you how they got rich because of the show.
I heard this guy on Nurse Talking the Podcast and I thought, hey, why not give it a shot? And now look at me. I got a lot of Dogecoin. I got so much I don't know what to do with it. So hey, Nurse Talking the Podcast.
And there you go. A satisfied customer for my podcast and Nerds Talking the Podcast every Friday. Now back to the show. Fat Rich Pigs.
Welcome back to Nerds Talking the Podcast. Remember with Johnny, Carlos, Laura, and I'm Lafayette. Remember to rate, subscribe, review, turn on notifications, tell your friends every Tuesday and Friday. Nerds Talking the Podcast. We're going to jump into our movie review, which is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, right? If I'm not mistaken. Indiana Jones is back, and he is old and young. And is he any good? As Indiana Jones gets pulled into an adventure he doesn't want anything to do with. Why is he part of this? He's like, what the hell's going on? And why is he getting pulled into this nonsense? And he gets pulled in anyway. And we get a lot of CGI Indiana Jones looking young. We get honestly, just another Indiana Jones adventure that you would want or assume. And we'll start off with Carlos. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. What's your take and your review?
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is, well, the scenes where he was young, all they did was make his face look young. He may have looked young, but he did not move young. That was one of the downsides to it. I guess they could have used an actor to do it, but they didn't have to voice over, and that's probably harder to sync into the lips, the sound. So maybe, hey, just do Harrison Ford. And of course, Harrison doesn't want anybody to be Indiana Jones but him. The whole going through time thing, and at the point that it happened, was well done. It wasn't like the Crystal Skull. That movie was just so campy, so dumb. That's why I said a couple weeks ago, or a couple episodes ago, does Steven Spielberg even have any more clout in Hollywood after that shit movie he directed? But it was believable. I liked the way it was done. The one thing I didn't like was how typical Indiana Jones, he gets away from the bad guy, but it doesn't matter. The bad guy's going to be exactly where you go. I didn't like that. I hate that. I mean, get away from the bad guy. Like, they got away from the boat. The guy in the boat took out his binoculars. They're going west, not east. And they ended up exactly where he was. I'm like, oh, awesome. Tuk-tuk scene was way too long. But overall, I enjoyed the movie because it was a decent Indiana Jones movie. I would give it a 3. Probably something I'd watch again if it was on. I wouldn't go looking for it. If it was on, I'd probably sit down and watch again. I know it didn't do well, so I know this is the last, and also because of Harrison's age. But at the end, it made it seem like, hey, we can do another, because it shows his hat hanging out on the clothesline. Then all of a sudden, he reaches out and he snatches it, almost like time to go again. But let's hope not. Anyway, I'd give this one a 3 out of 5.
All right, Johnny, what's your take on Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny?
I don't know. It was about 2.5 hours, and I would say it's about an hour and a half too long. I didn't need a lot of what they had to offer. It was better than the Skull one. The copy that I watched didn't have, I didn't know what they were saying because they were speaking in German, and then at the end they were speaking Italian. I didn't know what they're saying, but when that doesn't take away from the movie, it's kind of a bad sign. I don't need to know what they're saying because this fucking tuk chase made me depressed. I don't give a shit what they're saying because of this. I mean, after I watched the movie, I wikied the plot, and apparently I missed a lot of shit. Like the Shia LaBeouf, he got killed in Vietnam. I don't know how I missed that, but
Yeah, you weren't paying attention then.
I guess not. I mean, the whole his goddaughter coming through, and it was fine and all. You need somebody younger and ambitious, I guess, like that, but she didn't have his convictions, and that kind of bothered me until like the very end. I mean, I really enjoy the Indiana Jones movies. I hope this is the last one. Like you said, he moved around like an 80-year-old man, and which is fine. He's 80 years old, but don't fake that part. Like when he's younger, like I'd like a little more action, something more convincing. Overall, maybe a 3.
Well,
Oh,
like
good
when they took the kid, and he comes, the typical Indiana Jones shot. He comes sliding into the scene. You see him in his back, right, looking for the kid, and he turns around. He takes off running like he's gonna catch somebody. Man, you're 80 years old. I would have walked away from you and still gotten away.
You know what? The kid bothered me too. I was waiting for short round to come through. Like there was that giant German dude. When he was handcuffed.
He
to
was
the kid.
He killed that fool.
He was a beast, right? Like
it was like a wall, a physical wall.
Yes, he was fucking huge. And I'm sorry, but no little kid is gonna kick my ass. Around the neighborhood there. Well, the kid like handcuffed him to
the thing underwater. He's dead.
I get that, but I'm not gonna let no fucking kid do that. There's no kid that I've ever seen in my life.
You ain't fitting through that little hole in the grate the way he was.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure a little kid can kick your ass.
I would fling that little kid around, attached to the handcuff,
until
like his arm
and just drag him. Just drag him.
I would come back with
man.
I would come back with a hand attached to a handcuff and be like, "Well,
everyone's weightless in water."
Another thing that bothered me that I forgot to mention was Nazis. Again with the Nazis. Why is it every time the Nazis want some sort of artifact, it's always the Nazis, except for the Temple of Doom? It's always a Nazi.
And Crystal Skull.
No, those were Nazis.
No, Crystal Skull was Nazis.
No, they were Russians. No,
they were Nazis.
Wrong. No, they were Russians.
Oh, you know what? No, you're right. They're Filipino.
They were Russians.
Johnny's on the case. Don't you worry
Bet
about
my
it.
life on
Detective
it.
Lee's
They were Russians. It was 1960s Red Scare. It was Russian.
Guess what? It's your turn now, Laura. What'd you think of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny?
Honestly, I liked it, and I was surprised that I liked it. I all the negative points that you guys are talking about, I do agree with. It was too long. The action scenes went on for a little bit too long, while the de-aging was really good. I mean, he looked so good. Carlos, you're right. He did not move the way that a young Indy should move, and he did not sound the way young Indy would sound. It sounded like an 80-year-old's voice coming out of a 40-year-old man's mouth. But I mean, all those things aside, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun, and I think it was fun because specifically of the Nazi angle, because that was what I think captured a lot of people. At least I know what captured me about Indiana Jones when I was a kid, that there's something that makes it fun, is this play with the Nazis and the supernatural, because the Nazis in real life were absolutely obsessed with this obscure mysticism, and like, they were seriously looking for the Holy Grail and for the Spear of Destiny and all these things that they thought had magical powers. And so it's this fun weaving of what is real and then what obviously isn't. So I don't know. I think that is fun. So I like that it went back to the Nazis. One thing that I would say is that what always made Indiana Jones fun was the stunts. And that's why they made a stunt show out of it at Disney, right? Is the Indiana Jones stunt show. But those were practical effects in camera with real people. This green screen CGI shit that they did all through the beginning part on the train. I mean, it's very on par with what is done now, but it's not what people tuned in for. There were some parts that I thought were good. The horse in the subway scene, like there were parts of it that looked real, and there were parts of it that very much so did not look real. I was like, you guys should have done this real. You should have done this in camera. I think it would have been better. But in general, I mean, I liked it. I was genuinely excited. Like when they found the dial, and then he is like, okay, we're gonna go to 1939 and kill the Fuhrer. And I was also thinking, I'm like, where the hell did he kill these Nazis in 1969? Like where did he find all these modern day Nazis? But I'm like, I mean, I guess it's counterculture. It was a time of upheaval, Ku Klux Klan, neo-Nazism. I guess you could find them. And then they actually made it to freaking the invasion of Sicily, and I'm like, that's fucking cool. I was pretty glued. And then after the movie was over, I did Google the dial, the actual dial that they did find, and find how much, again, overlays with reality and fantasy and how the two play together. And so I liked it. I give it 3.5, maybe even a 4. I
Oh,
thought
a
it was fun.
4. We had a 3 and a 4 on the board. What, 2 3s and a 4? But yeah, you're right. I thought it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Yeah, some of the green screen was bad. It was just bad.
It was.
Especially when they were jumping from the tuk-tuk and all that, and the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
tuk-tuk thing, the green screen was bad. Young Indy did look great. I thought the story was fun. I thought the female lead, when she betrayed Indy, no bueno. Johnny's right. The kid is annoying because he's almost like, what worked in the past? Oh, that worked in Temple of Doom. Let's try it in this one.
Well, I mean, one of the problems with the kid and the whole storyline is that they used it to fill in holes. Like, well, shit, how is Indy gonna get saved from this other time? Well, the kid, he can fly now. He can fucking fly. So,
oh, you're right though. Yeah, things like that
But it was
nature.
cute how
Exactly.
he would sit there and ask all the pilots that came through the hotel, like, how do I fly this plane? He'd never actually done it, but he would.
He was
I don't know.
like
I thought
building
it
up
was cute.
facts.
Yeah, I thought it was cute.
Yeah. That's how you learn stuff, Johnny. Just walk through the halls of college. When you get to the end, graduation.
yeah,
Like a video game.
very goodwill hunting of me.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I mean, he's no short round for sure.
But that was what they were trying to encompass, that whole thing. And again, it was fun. It was a pretty good Indiana Jones movie. Just what you expected at Indiana Jones. And other than that, I mean, I give it a 4. I mean, I thought it wasn't that bad. I mean, we rank them all, and I think part 3 is the best. I still think Temple of Doom's the second best, and then Raiders of the Lost Ark's 3, and then I put Dial of Destiny 4,
Seriously?
and I
Oh, okay.
put Crystal Skull 5. I mean, that's
Real
go
quick,
ahead.
Carlos, how reliable is Wikipedia to you?
Not.
What if it agrees with your assumptions?
Absolutely.
Confirmation
unbelievable.
bias.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I just wanted to make sure.
So clarify.
In the first line in Wiki for the plot, in 1957, Soviet agents led by Irina Spalko kidnap American archaeologist Indiana Jones, and then it goes down to where the cast, and she's a villainous Soviet agent.
We're talking about Crystal Skull, everyone, and we're also
Yeah.
talking about
Soviet.
what
Yeah.
Russian.
So Laura was right. She's Russian.
Not
what's
Nazi.
her name? She played the villain. She's
Play.
Kate
Kate Blanchett.
Kate Blanchett. That's right. Kate Blanchett. That's right. Yeah, again, it's a
Y'all
fun
don't
movie.
know the difference between your fascist leaders in the world.
No, they're all the same. I
They're
signed up for
neighbors.
all of them.
Same shit.
Well, go ahead. Give me your Indiana Jones ranking. Carlos, your top 5 ranking for Indiana Jones.
That'd be The Last Crusade, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, Dial of Destiny.
Okay.
We won't even mention the
Yep.
last one.
Yeah, yeah. We're not, doesn't belong on the list.
Laura, your
let's
top
go.
5 ranking. I'm pretty sure it's the same, right?
Raiders of the Lost Ark, very top. Last Crusade, number 2. Number 3, Temple of Doom. Number 4, Dial of Destiny. And we don't even have to mention Thus Who Will Not Be Named.
And I'm going to think Johnny's same ranking.
I'm gonna go Last Crusade number 1.
Oh,
Temple of Doom number 2.
Oh, he's
Raiders.
Oh, him and
Dial
I
of
had the
Destiny.
same ranking. Look at that. I knew we had something in common. That's
We're
both
right.
idiots.
That's right. That's right. Yep. So yeah, there you go. Indiana Jones, the Dial of Destiny, not yet on Disney Plus, but you can stream it through Amazon, Redbox, and everywhere else you can rent your digital content.
Did you guys have at the beginning of your copy that said this
tobacco thing?
warning? Oh,
Oh my God. Seriously? But you're not going to
I
warn us
told-
about the death and destruction? Let's warn you about tobacco. What
No
the
warning of the
fuck?
Nazis either. It was just
yeah,
no,
the
you're right.
Nazis, the blood, all of it. No, tobacco.
The
I told
tobacco.
Austin, I'm like, we got to turn this shit off. I can't be watching depictions of tobacco.
Charlotte,
Yeah,
go to bed.
I thought that was I thought that
Tobacco.
was odd too. Then I thought, what country was this for?
No, I think it's for. I think it's
I think
for
it's
us.
I think it's for the US.
Was it for us, really?
I do.
Oh,
I don't think that
so.
any other country is
don't
so
know.
butthurt about tobacco usage than the U.S.
I mean, to be honest, Muslims, tobacco and alcohol are supposed to be forbidden.
Supposed to be.
So-
They're not.
I don't think they showed this
FYI.
movie over there because there was a female
Ooh, yeah.
protagonist.
Lead. Oh, you're probably right. Oh, there's no
Yeah.
way they showed it over there. There's no way. No
Liked
way.
her. She
But they
grew on
totally
me
tried to-
also.
They tried to work on the Temple of Doom with this movie, not only with the kid and the girl, but then also that scene with all the bugs. I'm like, why are they doing this again?
did
We've
saw
already
that.
done this. Why are we
Oh,
doing
the
this again?
snakes and all that.
No, just the
No, it
bugs.
wasn't
the-
snake,
the
it was
bugs.
the bug.
I
Yeah.
know, but it was the same
Water
idea.
snakes.
Oh,
yeah,
the
water
eels.
snakes.
Oh, the
Yeah.
eels.
Oh, you know what though? I'm not
Antonio
gonna lie.
Banderas was a bit of a pleasant surprise.
When he showed
Yeah.
up, I was like, wait
Yeah.
a
Was
second,
Was he a callback
Antonio?
from another movie? Was he in Crystal Skull?
No,
No,
he's not in
Okay,
Crystal
that's
Skull.
what we were trying. Me and my husband were like, was he in one of those movies? Where did he come from?
Yeah, they were
It
friends.
was a pleasant
Apparently, they were,
surprise.
but
Yeah, they're already friends apparently from another
Yeah.
adventure we don't see.
Dude,
So
when
what-
they had the bug scene, it was the same thing as I watched Temple of Doom, and I was like, "Oh, it's methane in here. We're all gonna die." Well, I guess we're all gonna die because I literally cannot walk
That's
back.
oh my god, that's
Perfect.
funny
Oh,
too.
that's that
bug.
scene right
Indiana
there.
Jones was like, "Don't breathe," but here he is doing whatever he wants, moving around. He's like, "Fuck it, I'm 80. I got only like 2 years left."
Well,
Whatever.
remember, he didn't want to even leave Sicily because the same
I thought
reason
that
that
was
I'm
awesome when-
old. Leave me here.
Yeah.
Oh,
When she punched him and she's like, "Nope." I was like, I love
Yeah,
that.
that was another thing. Like, I'm not gonna get knocked out by a girl either.
Even at 80.
Well, I mean,
I'm just kidding. But the kid part, I'm gonna whoop any kid's ass.
wow, you and the kid.
Challenge
was-
accepted.
But I mean, I wasn't surprised Shia LaBeouf's character was dead because they did say that that's how they just kind of wrote it off in a single line. Like, oh, he's
Did
dead.
they mention it more
I
than
think
once?
that
Because
was
one
for the
guy
best.
said, "Your wife is gone," or "Your wife left you. Your kid is gone," or something like that. Or your kid is dead.
They did. They
Did they mention
a
it more
few
than
times.
once, or just
Yeah.
okay? All right. I wasn't
Kind
paying
of
attention.
more like they didn't directly mention it, but it was inferred.
Too bad.
Good.
Too bad.
Good.
Too bad. 'Cause
Yeah,
Shia,
I was fine with that.
he knew how to swing on vines like a monkey. And so stupid. So stupid. Anyway,
You
there
know,
you
a
go.
lot of times I look back on movies and I'm like, maybe I should rewatch it because it's not as bad as I remember it being. So maybe I do need to rewatch Crystal Skull. But then sometimes I am like, oh, it's worse than I remember it being. I'm gonna have to check it out. I'll
Yeah, no,
research.
that movie's it's bad. And the thing is, the first hour or so is pretty good. It's somewhat entertaining, and the crazy his friend that talks gibberish because he's seen the skull and he's kind of crazy, and you know,
it's John Hurt, and John Hurt is
That's
an
right.
amazing actor.
and it's actually pretty good. And then it just gets more and more outrageous. The effects get really bad as the movie goes along, and then the ending is so bad, you're like, wow,
I
somebody
remember the
actually
ending very
wrote this and
distinctly,
thought
yeah.
this is good.
Didn't a spaceship come out of the ground?
Didn't George
Yep.
Lucas help write that?
And
Yep.
Spielberg directed it.
No, I know, but I think Lucas wrote it.
Spielberg was like, "Is that E.T.'s skull made out of crystal?"
Oh, he probably would have done that. Yeah, another shit movie. All right, well, there we go. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Catch it if you want to, I guess. We don't care. We told you what we thought. You shouldn't even go watch it anymore. You know the whole plot. You know what happens. So anyway, there you go.
Death
would you-
comes for us all.
Would you watch another one if it was all CGI young Indy?
You need to attach some good names to it, like
Probably.
a
sadly.
Selena Gomez or
Did you say Selena Gomez?
Wait, what?
What?
Yeah,
I'm
what?
not
I
watching.
knew I'd
A
get
Gal
that reaction.
Gadot.
There you go.
No, it would take a lot for me to watch another one.
Like when they had the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, that was good. That was good.
I do remember
My
that.
husband
Yeah,
loved that show.
wasn't
Yeah.
bad.
No,
But to make any more, you'd have to power through it. I'm not paying for it for sure.
yeah, and they'd have to be short. They couldn't be the 2-3 hour movies. That's
2.5 hours or
hour and a half, and
Holy
that's it.
shit.
Just give me a quick adventure. Don't even do that. Just give me another Disney Plus series. 5 episodes, Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
They can't afford it right now.
And at the end,
They're not gonna
Mutt,
do it.
then at the end, Mutt's not really dead. He comes down, he pisses on Indy's grave and walks away. That's the end.
All right. Well, there we go, everyone. Thanks for ruining it. That's our show. Thanks for tuning in, Nerds Talking the Podcast. For Johnny,
See you.
for Laura,
Bye.
for Carlos.
Bye-bye.
That's our show, everyone. See you next time.